writing about characters, they are almost certainly going to talk to each other at some point. Dialogue on the page is both different from and similar to dialogue in real life. Different because we strip it back to what's important for the story. We tend to cut out the ums and the ahs and the self-corrections. And when we write a piece of dialogue, we start where it serves the story. Characters tend not to shoot the breeze so much in stories. They get to the point. But in other ways, dialogue must be like real-life speech so that the reader finds it believable. So here are 3 tips for good dialogue. First, everybody has a backstory, and that affects the way that they speak. A 60-year-old Australian truck driver is going to speak very differently from a posh British university student. So always remember things like age, class, and gender affect word choice, cadence, accent, even the willingness to express oneself. Now, this doesn't mean that you should fall back on stereotypes. I give in, governor, it was me what done the blag. But it does mean you should think about who the character is and where they come from before you start to write in their voice. Otherwise, they'll all end up sounding like you, which is fine in some stories, but if you're writing a story about a 19th century vampire who talks about dank memes, it might not ring true. Second, the context of dialogue affects what is said. Are your characters making themselves heard over noise, or are they whispering secrets? Are they familiar and open with each other, or are they wary and awkward? Are there interruptions? Dialogue is not just people talking in white space. Think about the setting and how it impacts on what can be said and how it's said. And lastly, conversation is responsive. Between the lines of dialogue, the characters need to be listening to each other and then responding, or maybe deliberately not responding, to what is said. This requires you to both write the dialogue in one character's perspective and listen to the dialogue in the other's. Something that really helps with this is reading your dialogue aloud, which is extra fun if they all have Kiwi accents. This fortnight's task asks you to imagine some dialogue in the future, when society may have changed for the better, but first dates are still super awkward. Enjoy.